All right, everybody, live market rundown for the 1st of September, Friday. Before we get into the charts, I want to announce that we will be doing things a little bit different from now on because during the day, I kind of noticed that sometimes it gets a little bit crazy in the chat talking about liquidity imbalance, price flow, break of structures, and all these beautiful concepts. So from now on, get your questions in before this market rundown, and I will get back to your questions in the market rundown. So make sure to always get them in before around this time every single day in the week, because that's going to be a great way for me to truly show you guys the answers to your questions. So first of all, before we get into the charts, I want to solve the question that Braden had. And he was talking about liquidity and how to find it. So I'll first of all explain what liquidity is. So let's say we're looking to buy. So as always, it would have an impulse into a higher high, correcting down into a potential higher low. Now notice that little word I just said, being potential. Now what confirms the fact that this level will actually be the higher low point? And that is with liquidity. Now what is liquidity? When we're looking at longs, liquidity is equal lows. So it would go like this, and then it would get taken out, followed by a reaction, and that's when you know we are off. Shorts are equal highs. Now, why is this such a powerful concept? As I told you guys before, we need the big players in the markets in order to get our moves in. The reason for that is the big players truly move the market. In fact, their orders are so large, they can barely fill them. Because as you know, a marketplace is with buyers and sellers, just like this market is as well. So let's say in this case, you want to buy a ton of, let's say USD JPY, because we're on USD JPY right now. So you want to be buying a ton of that currency. What do you need to buy a ton? You need a ton of sellers. So how do they create a bunch of sellers? I will show you how they do that. They literally screw over the retail crowd that doesn't know what's going on. How do they do this? First thing somebody learns when you're a retail trader and you come into the markets is support and resistance. So as they're tracking this higher low, they see, oh, one bounce, interesting. Second bounce, interesting. And then when it comes back for the third bounce, what they do is they buy and they put their stops just under that support, and then they're like very excited about the profit they think they're going to be making. But what do they do, being the big players? Before they start to move, they actually stop out all these people. So they literally create fake support. Then to entice people to take their longs, and then they take the shorts, and that's when the move happens. Why does the move happen then? Because when we have all these buys ordered from all the retail traders around the world looking at their support, when you have a buy order that gets stopped out, the order gets closed with a sell order. In order to get out of a buy order, you have to execute a sell order. You don't do that yourself, but it's basically what your broker does for you when you place and get hit with a stop order. That is literally selling these buys. So as I said, they need to buy a lot, so they need a lot of sellers. So how do they create all these sellers? Literally by hitting the stop losses. That's how they create all these sell orders. So they entice people to buy, they take them out, so all these buys become sell orders, and that is when they take the other side of those sell orders or stop orders, and they buy all those, get their orders in, and that is when the move starts. And that is what we call liquidity. That is what we call equal highs, equal lows. That is what we are always waiting for to confirm our position. And that, Davis, is also the reason why liquidity can only be taken one time. It's not like support and resistance. You know, like support, like resistance, that gets broken becomes support. So that is like that. Then it gets broken again and becomes resistance. The more time it gets tested, the more powerful it is. That is not the case with liquidity, because the moment those orders have been taken, they have been taken, they're gone. So don't be overly focused on liquidity. Just know liquidity is the cherry on top of the pie. It is the thing we need to confirm our entry. So don't be looking for liquidity, because it is the last part of the puzzle. Everything needs to happen before we can actually look at liquidity. So don't be overly obsessed with liquidity. I want you to be talking more about price flow, structure, higher lows, lower highs, all these good things. Liquidity is the last piece of the puzzle. So that is basically what I wanted to tell you guys. Then let's get into the markets. USD JPY. 4 hour is correcting still, so we can zoom into the 1 hour, which is bearish, and what we're looking for now, impulse correction up, looking for an area of interest, not to take 1 hour sells, but to take 15-minute sells to flow with the one above, what I discussed yesterday. NZD JPY, very similar setup, as both of these pairs have the JPY as their second one, meaning 4 hour is bullish but correcting, so that means the 1 hour is bearish. It's now correcting. Look at this, guys. You now know what this is. Fake resistance. So I would be looking for this to be taken out, and that's when we start the move. Now you know. Euro USD. As you can see, I already highlighted this. This is fake resistance. Moment this gets taken out, we will be selling not on the 1 hour, but on the 15 minutes to flow with the one above. 4 hour started its huge move. This is so nice because this is actually forming a daily higher low with a break of 4 hour structure. Now it is coming down. Yesterday, people were trying to buy this, but don't buy because the 4 hour is due to retrace. That's why I always say top down. If the 4 hour is set to retrace, don't be buying on the 1 or the 15 minutes. You'll be completely destroyed. And not, I mean, yeah, whatever. I'll get to that in a little bit. So we broke 1 hour structure, looking for further downs. As you can see, the 4 hour is bullish, but we will need to come down a little bit more as this move is still very, very, very impulsively down. So Marcel, I told you yesterday, look, let me just see something. No, it's fine. So look, okay, we were bullish on the 1 hour. 1 hour higher high, 1 hour higher low, 1 hour higher high. Then you started buying here. Why is that not good? I told you exactly. Which is fine, bro. I mean, we're all here to learn, but dude, first off is structure. Second off is price flow. Before we start looking at liquidity, we need to make sure this is in an area of interest. Before we look for an area of interest, we need to make sure the price is moving slowly. Don't try to catch a falling knife. Look at the speed this thing was coming down. I'll show you again. 1 hour higher high, 1 hour higher low, 1 hour higher high. This is our bullish structure right now. So, okay, that's great. We're looking for longs. But first, the price flow needs to slow down in a corrective fashion. Why would you start buying here expecting all of a sudden for this just to go boink? You know, like just change direction in a heartbeat. It never ever happens like that. It needs to slow down. It needs to slow down. So don't try to catch a falling knife because impulses break structure. Second thing after this whole liquidity rant, I want to show you guys price flow. Impulse happens in the direction of the trend. So when it's correcting down, we know this is good stuff. We can expect another impulse. But if we would then get an impulse down, we know, oh, the sentiment has changed. When you're correcting well, actually not correcting, but where you're coming down against the trend in an impulsive way, the chances that it will break structure are super high. And that is exactly what happened here with the 1 hour BOS break of structure. It broke structure. It also broke structure on Euro USD. Again, super heavy impulsive move. When I see this coming down like that, I'm like, all right, this will probably break structure. Don't put your orders in there. Don't ever do that. Because now what we can do, now this structure has been broken, I don't really care, to be honest, because instead of me hoping to get buys in, I just wait now for it to come up, retest this part, and take the sells. Flow with structure. No opinions, no preferences, just flow with structure. Euro AUD, same thing. Impulse down, correction up. This is actually quite heavy right now, so I'm expecting multiple legs into an area of interest. Sells. Then, this is actually very, very nice. I will show you guys why. GBP CAD 4 hour is bearish. 4 hour made a lower low with a correction being multiple legs. Now we have come down very strongly, breaking 1 hour structure again with an impulse. But the awesome thing about this is the fact that the 1 hour has not yet reached its target. So we can still zoom into the 15-minute and take sells. So what I'm seeing here is a bunch of liquidity. So I'm being patient because this liquidity got taken. We had a reaction and it came down. But understand we still have this liquidity above and this liquidity as well. So I'm actually looking at this one as the favorite area of liquidity because this is also in a great area of interest. So I'm looking for it to take out these higher equal highs and then tap in here. If it forms a formation, I'll be selling. USD CAD on the 1 hour is also looking good as the 4 hour has not reached its target yet. The 1 hour is bearish with a beautiful impulse. Now correcting. The moment they reaches here, forms of liquidity will be taking the sells into the 4 hour fib extension. That is my watch list. Those are my lessons. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I made it a little bit longer because I see you guys. I really appreciate you guys in the group asking great questions, really being interested in professional trading. No hypey, stupid stuff. The actual discipline of professional trading. So I hope I answered all the questions. As always, guys, from now on, get your questions in. I will be answering them in detail. And I hope you can all learn from me answering those questions. As always, I will keep you guys updated and best of luck in the markets.